Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Joshua Bills from Twitter, cracked developer. I love this guy. I've been following him for a very long time now for his build in public journey for this app Postel, I beg my pardon, the best Twitter scheduling app on the web right now. I'm a proud user as well. It has changed my entire Twitter game up, and I'm so happy to have the founder Joshua on to talk about the app here today. Joshua, at the end of this, what can persons expect to learn about Postel and just get from this episode overall?
I think I will just cover, first of all, thanks for having me, man. I think I will cover how we operate as a team, how we leverage AI to build Postel, and at the same time, just showcase Postel just a little bit to basically show how Postel really could leverage or amplify your X game. If you're a freelancer, founder, trying to grow your personal brand, Postel is basically the go-to tool to turn your expertise into really valuable content that attracts more opportunities, freelance clients, or just growth in general. You can use it for multiple things. You can also just establish yourself as a thought leader in a specific niche. It's really nice. I think one of the features you like the most is the
Yeah.
knowledge base. I prepared some stuff to just quickly demo it and how to basically build up your knowledge base so you can turn whatever information you collect there um, into really good content and really fast too. So you save about, let's say, depending on how much you post daily on X, you can save about at least, I would say, a full work week, so 40 hours a month, because we are really focused on simplifying the whole flow from ideation to getting your posts out there and scheduling or planning it. And right now it takes about 4 minutes for a really good post, but I can show that it even takes sometimes even less than that if you already prepped your knowledge base or found a couple of sources that you can repurpose into content.
Yeah. I must say, people, he is so correct. I previously I used to only post 3 times a week on Twitter because of just how much time it would take me to sit down and conceptualize and ideate. Now I post every day. I'm slowly scaling up. I've gone from 3 times a week to now 7 days a week with video now. So I was only text only. Now I'm video and image now. It's crazy. So Joshua, please take us into this phenomenal app that's changed my Twitter game for the best.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
What I did, let me just quickly throw up the screen in a second. Give me a second. So I want to demo this basically as if we are Ryan Doris. Ryan Doris is a really an expert when it comes to flow state and how to leverage flow state when like in your daily life and work and everywhere else. So he has a lot of expertise in this domain, right? And what I did is in our tool, you can go and basically prep your knowledge base. So if you have a newsletter, if you have YouTube videos, if you have a lot of stuff, information in your Notion, you can go inside here and create a new topic. I will just demonstrate this by just creating a new topic right now. And we go to Ryan Doris blog and just have a look at what's something that we could add here. So let's take this one. This looks interesting. And now I just have to copy paste the link, go back to Postel. I can say, hey, I want to add a website link. Then how to leverage feedback, I think was the blog post. And now it's analyzing the website, it's taking the content and it's saving it. So what you can do now is you can go to create posts and you can repurpose or play on that raw content so you can get tweets out of that. And it's very simple. You have to just select, go to context, select that new topic that you just created. And I have some shortcuts. I'm using Raycast. We are working on implementing this into the product itself just as a quick action. But I could say
That's it.
just like this is my shortcut to create like a listicle type post. So I can select the length now. I've added Ryan Doris as a voice, and now I can just hit send. But we also have our system voice Jarvis, which is basically trained or based on the insights of thousands of analyzed viral posts. So it will take that raw content and press it into yeah, a format, a Twitter native format that on average we believe to perform way better. And now you can see it turns that blog post into like some tweets you can play around with.
So,
You always get 6, so you can take the one that you like the most, or you save them all to your drafts, and then you can schedule them out like spaced out by a couple of days, right? And from here on, the flow is very simple. You can go to the editor,
could you zoom in on the
just
screen
add,
just a little bit so we can see? It's
yeah,
just a
sure,
little bit.
sure. So from here on, you can just, from the create post view, you can just go to the editor, and then here you could turn it into a thread or play around with the AI actions, or just add an image and publish it immediately to communities or just to your timeline as you want. And you can also schedule it, of course. You could say, hey, today in 5 hours. Oh, just 1 second. Today in 5 hours. So now I could just hit schedule and it would go out and Postel would publish it on my behalf. You can add videos here and images. So that's how simple it is in general. That's the whole flow. Something you can also do is I believe we are the one tool in the space with the most integrations. So if you don't want to go the route with the knowledge base, you can add any YouTube video that you have. Let's say the latest one, do only 3 things a day. Let's see what Postel will come up with here. I have to just copy paste the link, copy paste it here, and now I can prompt it. I can instruct Postel as if it's my personal ghostwriter that knows my brand. So it has context about what I do on X, and it's like a really good writer. So I could say, I've prepared another shortcut here. Hey, write a post that focus on actionable advice from the provided context. Turn it into a step-by-step list for everybody to follow along. Give the post a 5-word hook that creates a curiosity gap and teases the content of the post itself. So as you notice, it's not really a prompt. It's more like something you would tell a freelancer that you may hire to create content for you. And that's the way you really leverage Postel, because behind the scenes, we have a lot of context about good posts and put a lot of work into the system prompt itself. So now I can select any voice. Let's go with Ryan Dora's voice itself. I will select the long length for the post, and now I can just hit enter again, and I will get 6 tweets that are based on the video that I just where I just copy pasted the link. And we can do this type of flow for TikTok, Instagram Reels, and any website. So you can just copy paste something and play with the raw content of whatever source you basically give to Postel, right? So these posts can tell you these posts are really good. Like they have a good scroll stopping hook. They're formatted nicely and they're value focused.
Yeah.
So this type of content, I would say, establishes you as a thought leader over time if you do this post stuff like this over and over again, and it attracts the right people, right? Because people will see that you post a lot of value. This kind of stuff attracts work opportunities in forms of freelance clients or maybe partnerships and so on. I'm saying that because that's what I experienced when I started out on X. I grew to, I think, 1,800 followers in my first 30 days. And looking back, I posted a lot of this type of stuff just intuitively. So I was focusing on sharing what I learned, and it made me grow really fast. And again, from here, you can go to the editor, images, videos, anything that complements visually the content of the post, and then you can publish it immediately or schedule it out. That's the whole flow, super simple. Something else, just a couple of different things we also have.
Yeah, I was just about to say we have to showcase voice, man. I think this is definitely
Yeah,
one of the more one of the interesting features because there's a lot of content creators that I follow whose the way they write tweets, I've always wanted to kind of emulate it in my own way. Like, just for instance, if I could get 80% of the way there, right, and then like just use my human in the loop segment, right, and just
yeah.
bring
Postel
my
allows
20%.
you, like Postel allows you to add as many creators and play around. So you can basically emulate their writing style. I could just go to search creators and then copy paste their handle here. Or we have like a predefined list. I could just say add, and it's going to have a look at all their content and create a guide basically, or guidelines for their writing style. And the interesting thing for me here is basically seeing my post idea in countless different angles. So how would John Jung-Fook write down or write out my post idea? How would Navel write out my post idea, right? And then under create post, you can select all your writing styles that you have, all the voices that or creators that you have added here, and just see, okay, how would they go about writing this post for me, right? And it's very interesting, especially if you combine it with different lengths. You can also write complete threads here, and yeah, just play around, explore many different angles for your post idea. But you always also have the option to just go with the voice that we create for your own profile. Another very nice feature, I would say, is especially for beginners and even people that are already established on X, is the viral outliers feature. And what we have here is basically a huge sum of posts that we take from various niches on X, and you can filter them. They're updated daily, and you can filter them for the views. Let's say I just want to see posts with more than 50,000 views, and I could here like search for certain keywords. And what this feature allows you to do is basically see what's hot in your niche, and basically analyze and study that type of content and then take it into your own content creation, right? So as an example, let's see what we find with for startups in general. It takes a couple of while, and now I could say, I just want to see posts that have gotten 50,000 views, but from accounts with less than 10,000 followers. So what that means is these account like posts are true outliers. They have gotten 5x or maybe 10x the account size and views. So that's something you can analyze now, and you will see that a couple of these are highlighted. So anytime we have more like a multiple than more than 10, we get this visual highlight here, and you can see it ranges, right? This one got 636 times the views of the author's follow account. So a huge outlier. And then I can have a look at the post itself and maybe take that idea into my own content creation. So it's a
Yeah.
very nice feature. It's still an alpha, but already very value packed. And it's like if you have got premium, it's like a endless feed, essentially. As you can see, it just updated the left side, and you can just see one outlier after another and just analyze the content, take it into your own content creation process inside of Postel. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's been a game changer for me because when before I was kind of like just shooting at the wall, like just throwing darts at the wall a little bit, just a little bit. Mind you, I would be still creating content that I find worthy, like that builds trust and that showcase what I'm building. But at the same time, I didn't really know what was going viral because sometimes within the, I mean, you see what's going on in your feed, but it's like, oh, just how viral is it based on the person's account? And now, like, I'm able to see, like, oh, this guy is only has like 5,000 followers, but he was able to reach 100K persons with this one tweet. So it's like in my mind now, like, especially going forward, I'm going to be going into viral outliers, man, and like analyzing how can I take these viral formats, right? Putting my own spin on them, and then like just talk about what I've building with their hooks. Instant value added. Like when I saw that viral, when you saw you guys were launching it, I was like, that's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, it makes me very happy. Like
Hmm.
what I do personally, and I did in the beginning, is I was having a close look. I consumed very consciously the type of posts that were on my For You page, and I asked myself every time I saw something interesting that had a lot of views, why did I stop here? What makes this post interesting? Is this a format? And then I started to create basically bookmark folders for different type of viral posts. And we have basically, like all the stuff I did in the beginning, we have slowly and surely productized into Postel. And it made me really grow fast. I'm on a good track right now to hit like 10,000 followers in under a year.
Mm-hmm.
Like 100 is still missing, I think, right now.
Crazy.
That's not even the big, like that's nice, don't get me wrong, but that's not even the most value you will get from X. The most value I got from X is just that I was able, as a nobody, living in a very like small city in Germany, I was able to connect with startup founders that are super successful. Like I got high profile connections kind of, and all of a sudden I found myself working for them because they actually saw my content and they reached out to me as like even with just 2K followers or 1K followers. And that's the big power of X, I would say. It's more about the people you get to meet and how you can expand your network and the opportunities that are coming your way if you're taking basically your personal brand on X seriously. And that's the most important part. And we are trying to make that as simple and easy and not grindy at all, because it's really a grind to get yourself out there in the beginning. It's very hard, especially if you have no idea why maybe your post is stuck at like 50 views and stuff like that. And we are trying to help you as much as possible with Postel. And what I do with the viral outliers features is I'm still studying. You can install Postel as a PVA basically, and you can just scroll as if like the viral outliers. You can just scroll it on your phone as if it's an app. So
Oh.
every time I'm like on a walk or something, I just go to the PVA and have a look at the viral outliers, search for different keywords, see what's hot, what's trending right now, and just ask myself, okay, like every now and then I get really inspired by just seeing a very interesting post there, and then I take that to my content creation. Yeah,
Do you venture forth into like some really random niches to see what's viral over there to see how you could repurpose it as well? Because I was
yeah. I think
Yeah,
sorry.
it's fine. Because I found
Uh,
myself recently. I was looking at like fitness stuff. Like I was like in the fitness niche. I'm not in fitness. I do AI automation. I build apps, whatever. And I was like, these guys are onto something over here. Like their hooks are pretty good over on the
yeah,
other side of the fence.
yeah. I do that actually. I just recently for fun I was trying to get a sense for how big X really is, and I had a look at very different communities, and there were some dark places, but also some very interesting places, and it's crazy how much the content varies from these communities and how basically all of them have like I'd say like their own language and way to write posts. It's similar to me for like Reddit and subreddits, right? They all have their own kind of vibe and style of creating content in this mini bubble, I would say. And sometimes I do that. Like I search for keywords that are way outside of my bubble, which is like tech, startup, and building a public. And I'm taking. Sometimes I get inspired by just seeing something that interrupted the pattern. That's
Mm,
all you're going for. If you want, a lot of this boils down to standing out, and you do that by being in a bubble or niche and like interrupting the pattern. So you're taking something maybe that works and putting a spin on it that makes everybody go, "Hey, wait, I
mm.
want to see more." And that's if you can systemize that, and I think we're getting closer there with Postel. It will become really easy to grow and get attention. That's just the name of the game. Yeah.
A while ago you said something really cool. You're just like, how do we, stop the scroll? How do we gain attention? What would you say are like, do you have a system? Do you have a components? Like, do you have like buckets of like thought frameworks that you follow in order to stop that scroll? Do you say, okay, we need to do this or that, X, Y, or Z?
I personally believe that you can package any idea into a post, no matter how boring it may seem to you or mundane, into a post that has a very high likelihood of reaching many people. So I'm not saying that you will achieve that every time, but there are a couple of things you can do to achieve that more likely on average. And one of those is just creating a really good hook. And I think a good hook comes down to a couple of things. One of them being, hey, how do I say something in relatively short words at the beginning of my post that either triggers an emotion, maybe like FOMO, fear of missing out, or that basically people read when I can only read the first line of the hook, that an automatic follow-up question builds itself in the reader's head, right? I sometimes you can a tip that I got from Sean Puri. He's like a storytelling master, and he said something in a podcast I watched a while back. It's like, write for one specific person. Imagine random Brad chilling on his couch in San Francisco. Like, what do you have to put into your post? So he is like, hey, like he sits up all of a sudden and watches closely and it's like, okay, let me share this. This is funny, or this caught my attention. And you can do that. I think try to create that automatic follow-up question with the hook, which is basically called the curiosity gap, or trigger an emotion, or make people, like, you can even rage bait. There are many methods to go about this. I think the best, there are really a lot of ways to go about this. That's why I kind of struggle right now to pinpoint it into buckets. But one of the easiest ways of when you're just starting out and you have no authority, nobody knows you, I think one of the easiest ways to really stand out is provide a lot of value in the form of curation. So what I mean by this is that's something I did in the very beginning of my own Twitter journey. I would analyze 100 posts or 200 posts, 500 most best performing posts of a one specific subreddit, for example. And I would say something, I analyzed the 500 best posts of the SaaS subreddit. Here's how you write a good title for your post. So your post goes viral in that subreddit, right? And you can drive some attention to your SaaS. That's basically just providing value by curation. I saw a post a couple of days ago where somebody made the same thing just by saying, hey, I analyzed 10,000 TikToks. Here are 100 viral hooks you can use.
That's just, right.
That's just like the only barrier between you posting something like that is just putting in some work. And you can do that with everything. You could say, I benchmarked 10 AI coding workflows. Here's the best I found, right? And then provide the proof. Like, don't just lie, of course. Actually, post a video where people see on the first glance that you actually did the work. You have to come. That's the part where you kind of have to become creative. So if I would say, just as an example, what I mean by this is, you make basically in the hook, you're trying to create that curiosity gap. You're trying to trigger an emotion, something like FOMO maybe, or you're making a big promise, basically. You're saying, hey, with the post idea where I analyzed 10,000 TikToks here, viral hooks, you're basically promising everybody that reads more of your post that they will get insane value. And you have to deliver on that value. So those people start to trust you and they will follow you. That's one of the easiest ways to get yourself out there. And the only thing that stands between you and a post like that is just putting in some work. Maybe it takes a day of prep. Then, of course, go to Postel, create a good hook for that. And that's how I grew pretty fast. Some of these posts really popped off and got like almost 1,000 bookmarks, which is a lot, in the beginning.
Trust, right? Like getting more than like 100 bookmarks, like 100K views is insane on Twitter, because on average, right, like the viewership is I find that the algo isn't like TikTok where it's like it'll spread it out to everyone. It's like you just die. Yeah, you just get filtered out into like the sea of into the I call it the void. Like, you just get filtered out into like that Twitter void. So you have to really go at it in terms of how to stop the scroll, and in terms of how to ensure that users actually want to see your content, and especially saving it. Do you find that bookmarks like are valued more? Is that the case? Like a lot of the times, like in terms of
I really don't. I don't know, to be honest. Like there are many theories about this. I would say all these people that obsess about the algorithm, they
Mm.
lack the most, I would say, important part of content. Like content should, in the end of the day, you're not writing for the algorithm, you're writing for people. And you have to not play or manipulate, but it's just psychology. Like, do people actually want to read this? Will they stop this? Will they become intrigued, curious? If that's the case, people will engage with your post, they will comment, bookmark it. Those are just signals for the algorithm to push this out to more people. So the algorithm is just the mechanism that picks up on a good post and puts it to a lot of people for me. That's the way I view it. In the end of the day, I never care about that. I just write for a specific type of person.
Mm-hmm.
If I really spend a lot of time of like into a post, I did that for our launch post, and that one got, I think, something along the lines of 170,000 views and a lot of bookmarks, a lot of comments. And I spent some time writing that, playing around with Postel, coming up with different hooks, basically workshopping the hell out of that post. And
Could you show persons
I,
the post and like just break
yeah,
it
sure.
down? Like let's talk about that, man.
Yeah, let me
I thought that post was sick,
quickly.
by the way. That was an insane post, man. I love
That's nice.
it. Sick
Your
post.
quote, by the way, was was perfect. Uh, all right, I found it.
Throw me up on the website as a testimonial. I sold my soul to Postel.
I still have to do that. Mm, just one second.
Yeah,
I'm
take your
gonna
time,
share
man.
my screen again. So this is the post,
Zoom in
and
for us so we can see.
yes. Um, so what is really important here is a big part of this post performing like it did was this video, of course, um, because it's fast paced. It's like it's creating a lot of curiosity, right? People want to see what is this tool about, and um, if you, I would say this post would have gone nowhere, to be fair, without that video. And a lot of work went into producing this launch video for our first product hunt launch. But when it comes to basically the written stuff in the post itself, I had a look at a lot of launch posts, and you could say, I will demonstrate this in Postel. I will go to Viral Outliers. What I did was basically looking for keywords where
Mm.
people say introducing, right? And now you get posts that are kind of like launch posts. And now I could see a bunch of different stuff, or let's say meet. Um, Let me take out the filters. I think it's messing up a bit with the filters. Introducing. Yeah, I would just look in here, find a couple of launch posts that performed really well, and then I ask myself, okay, what exactly here? For example, this one from Cluely or from this one, the MCP launch. I was having a look at launch posts that performed really well, and as you can see, I adapted the overall structure. So this is like 4 lines with the biggest part, basically the part that explains what the product does in the middle. So I adapted that and just added this part basically. And I knew from a couple of posts that I broke down and also made posts about sharing those case studies of viral launch posts that with launches, it's really good to lead with a big statement. So we built cloud code for content.
Yes.
It's like
It's pretty
what I
out there.
noticed. What I noticed is that people, like I saw on my timeline a couple of people and kind of was noticing the sentiment that a lot of people were choosing or switching from cursor to cloud code. So it's like, okay, let's say instead of saying, hey, we build cursor for content, which would be kind of meh. So let's go with the one that's hot right now. And I just said, okay, cloud code for content. I think it also nicely goes over the lips. And then I just basically used what I just had here um, as like an outline on how to create this, right? Introducing Postel is like hiring the best creators you know to create content with you. And I just added a few teasers about a couple of features that we have and a promise at the end. So people would watch the video, and the video nicely complements every single word here that you see. And I think, to be fair, this would have performed very well even without the support of many people. We were launching on Product Hunt, so it gave us a good excuse to make a big post like this and get a lot of support, right? It got more than 52 reposts or quotes. A lot of people of the, like, I would say 10 to 15 were like just friends from our Build in Public network, but the rest is organic. And almost 1,000, like, it's on a good track to hit like 1,000 bookmarks. And this post is now almost, it's a week old, right?
Yeah.
And it's still getting some likes,
Yeah,
which is crazy.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, this post
Yeah.
banged then. Or
Yeah.
is banging, I should say.
And this is how I went about it. So I had a look at, um, launch posts that performed really well. Asked myself, okay, what's the underlying mechanism here that kind of caught my attention? And I noticed for the hook, a lot of people were making a big statement. For example, we could. What's the one I saw when I wrote this post? I saw someone saying we could AI subscriptions. And I was like, okay,
Yeah, I actually saw that post as well.
yeah, and that's interesting, right? And then the other one was like, also like a super big statement again. Oh yeah, a funny one I saw was like, I'm a genius, and then just introducing the product, super funny. And I was like, okay, all of these make a really big, bold promise as a hook. So let me come up with ways, and then I use Postel to brainstorm some stuff, and then I just followed the outline I saw in all of these posts. And that's something you have to play on. You have to give the reader basically what they expect. So with a post like this, they either expect like a headshot video of you explaining the product, right? That is super polished. Maybe you've seen some of these. They expect maybe like a almost movie-like teaser for the product, or like a polished product demo teaser, what we did. So make something that falls into the expectation of the people that read the hook, right? They're expecting something along the lines of that. If somebody says, "We just reached 100K MRR," what do you expect to see as a screenshot there?
The stripe. If it's not the stripe
Yes,
dashboard, I don't know.
yeah,
Like, what does this post don't make no sense?
right. And you have to give the reader what they want, and that's a huge part. And then give the reader what they want, but in a way they didn't expect it, and you're going to stand out. And I would say Postel, if you know some stuff, you can instruct Postel really well to guide you there.
Yeah, how do you like? What's your framework for now for like prompting poster? You know, like, do you have like an instruction guide or like some ideas that you have in mind when you go into say postal? This is what I want. This is how it should be
Yeah,
structured. And also, is there any
I have.
before we continue? Random question: is there a word limit inside of the text box? Like, do you get?
To be honest, I don't even know. Maybe
Yeah, because the other
like
day I was kind of writing. I was writing. I was like, damn, this keeps going. And
yeah, we have a big context window that like you can post a 4 hour, like you can copy paste and reference the content of a
Mhm.
4 hour podcast. Of course, the generation time will take a bit longer if we reference that, but it will still give you posts and include all that content. And the same goes for every other source you take. When it comes to
Yeah, prompting poster.
uh, yeah, just giving Postel instructions, just it really depends. If I just want to brainstorm, I can show you what I do.
Yeah, so okay. So let's do brainstorming and then
Yeah,
let's do I want to create a viral post. Like, so let's go. Yeah, let's do those two. Because most persons I
sure.
find, even in myself, it's like, okay, what do I want to post? And then okay, I figured out what I want to post. Now how do I go viral?
Yeah. So what I would say is, even with these, right? We took that one YouTube video. It was this one, and my shortcut here in the Rakehouse, the snippet I used was write a post that focuses on the actionable advice, yada yada yada. The important part here is Give the post a 5-word hook that creates a curiosity gap and teases the content of the post itself. You can see that Postel did that, right? Unlock results, the feed system method. Perfectionism is a selective weapon. If we go to his Twitter account, you will see this type of stuff is actually very close that he posts. And this is I would say the most important part. Analyze viral content, see, come up, derive some instructions you would give to a ghostwriter and just give it to Postel. You could say also, let's take one of the blog articles, so flow triggers. And if we just go with the hook, we could say, for example, hey, create posts with a hook that create strong FOMO and focus around the fear of not getting things done. Make the hook pain-oriented and 5 to 8 words long. So this is basically taking the stuff I told you earlier about hooks, right? And just instructing it, or formulating it in form of an instruction. And now I can take Jarvis or any creator, and I will combine everything. I will combine the raw content of that knowledge base topic. Jarvis as our main or system voice, and I want to go with a long post. And I will create stuff that has a high average chance, I would say, to go viral if you do a couple of different things, like adding an image or maybe a video or something like that, right? And now, if I don't like this, I could say, hey, list the lessons or actionable advice as a listicle. So now it's going to take that content again and give you other drafts. And this is how you can workshop with Postel, right? So still stuck at 0 progress again. That plays into a fear or a pain that I have as a founder, right? So think of the person you want to reach and what kind of pain or fear do they have, and then instruct Postel to give you something that plays into that. And there are many ways to go about this, but I believe on average, if you're using Jarvis, if you're spending some time studying viral posts and deriving instructions that you can use here, you will have a high likelihood of reaching more people, and then it just becomes a number game. So for my launch post, if this one would have flopped, you could bet that a couple of days later I would have posted the exactly same thing, just with a different hook. So basically A/B testing different copy almost, right? So that's the way I would go about it. And you can't say, like, everybody telling you, hey man, use my tool and you're going viral tomorrow is just straight out lying. No, that's not possible. But what you can do with Postel is basically creating many different variations of the same idea and just testing it and iterating your way to something that performs better on average. Just the other day, somebody signed up for Postel, and the day after that, after creating some posts and publishing them, he was like, hey man, I even posted that I just started using Postel overall. It's too early to give you more feedback, but I noticed people that weren't following me started engaging with my posts and commenting. And that's really good after one day of using Postel. And some people, like, the results vary, but overall, I really believe you're better off with Postel. And like that's one that really stands out. I had a call with him, a user that upgraded to premium later on. He did create some Postel posts, and he was basically implementing this type of advice I just gave you, or guidelines. And the next day, I think he gained like 200 followers and finally broke through and finally hit like 3K followers overall. And he was stuck at 2,800 for a long time. And sometimes you have slumps like that where you just plateau and see no growth at all. And Postel will give you some ideas that you maybe are like, damn, I would have never thought about that post idea like that. let me just try this out. And then suddenly, by accident, you're interrupting the pattern, and you're standing out and getting attention and followers.
Yeah.
And later on, if you repeat that often enough, you will attract a lot of opportunities that way. It's exactly what happened to me by just posting every single day for almost a year now. I think I'm on day, how many days? 7 days I'm missing. So it's like, and then I've posted every single day for a year straight. And I wish I had posted when I started out. I really do.
Yeah.
And now we just
That
we
that that
started building Postel.
yeah, that'd have been even. I'd imagine that'd have been even more crazier growth from then on
Yeah,
as well. Does
yeah.
Postal come from a pain that you used to experience yourself? To
Oh
get a bit
yeah,
more
yeah, yeah.
personal.
When I started, okay, the story basically between like uh, I met my co-founders on X.
Mm.
So I have met them only 2 times in real life, actually, and we have been building Postel now for more than 6 months. Every single day, we are building this remotely, almost 100%. We met 2 times, one time in Berlin and one time in Greece on an island, just for like getting out there and recharging. And I met them because I kind of when I started out on X, I got a lot of attention. I grew pretty fast, and we connected on X, and then we just had a couple of calls, and then we were like, hey, at some point we were like, by the way, what's going to be your next project, right? And we found out by accident that we wanted to build something in the exactly same space. I wanted to build something to just make content creation easier and less painful, because on an X, to stay relevant, you have to, in the best case, you're posting multiple times a day. So every couple of hours,
Yeah.
because each post has such a short lifetime and quite dies off so quickly. To really stay relevant, you have to show up every couple of hours. That's not feasible if you're having a day job, if you're building something on the side, if you're juggling all those things, right? So I really wanted to build something around that. And the biggest pain I had was basically I wasn't happy with the solutions because they were either really focused on scheduling, but what the hell do you schedule if you have no idea, like, right? What?
Preach,
Yeah,
man, preach.
and the content creation tools just sucked, just straight like just sucked. And at that time, because I had so much attention, I started freelancing, I started writing for other people, and those were like to some degree like high profile CEOs, stuff like that. And then that spiraled into way too many clients. So I came up with a workflow, and to basically still manage all that workload that I had to do writing just social media posts for these people. I was freelancing, and then I met Robin, my co-founder, and Bruno, and I was telling them about this, and we were talking about what we are building, and I was saying that to them, hey, I wanted to basically productize this workflow and make it accessible for many people, and that over time, many iterations later, became Postel, what Postel is now. But it started with that, and the pain is just we want to build stuff, but at the same time, we know building in public and getting your name out there is really important as freelancers, as founders. So you can have basically a steady pipeline of opportunities and just something you fall back on if maybe you don't get clients, right? If you have huge reach somewhere, it's very easy to be like, hey, just got another spot open. Who needs an MVP? Who needs like a new landing page, right? You see designers popping off on X all the time,
All the time.
and they're growing like crazy, and they never like they don't seem like they have any problem getting clients, right? So that's basically the pain we wanted to solve, especially the time part. And now we knew back then that it would be very, very helpful, and that's the long-term vision, to have a tool or a workspace where you can create content for every platform. And that's the big vision. So basically, if I'm making posts on X, I just can't repost or cross post it to LinkedIn because that just doesn't work. I would say, from my experience, from the type of content I saw on LinkedIn. It has a very different tone, language, and so on. So big vision is that we build one platform where you can create content and repurpose content into all different platforms and directions. So how do I turn this post, this value post where I broke down my AI coding workflow for Postel, how do I turn this into a YouTube script? How do I turn this into a good LinkedIn post? Then, or a TikTok, right? We want to build that one workspace where you can do that. That's the long-term vision. That's something we are working on right now, but we are nailing one vertical, so X for the moment, before we move on to the other places.
Yeah, I can't wait for you guys. LinkedIn vertical, because I'm telling you, man. Sometimes just having to open up a whole other app is insane for me. Like I don't
Yeah,
want to open up another app.
yeah,
I just want to be in Postal for like 8 hours a day. Like it's a little addicting. You guys have created a very addicting product. You guys it's working. It's working on me at least. Let me tell you what really gets me going. The streak feature. I didn't know. Yeah. The streak. You guys did. Whoever came up with that cooked. Like there was somebody cooked there, because it forces me now. Like I was up at like what 11 o'clock last night. Came home from trading. I did jiu-jitsu. I threw hands for like a 2 hours straight. I came home and I was like, I cannot break my streak. Like yeah, I would be devastated for my streak to go away. So I had to lock in. I got on my
that's crazy.
computer, how basically in a comatose state, like yes, and I got out my tweet. I got my tweet out, man, because I just can't break my streak. I love it. I am loving Postal, so I'm really looking forward to being in a position where now I could like just go to LinkedIn, or even in the far future, like even Medium, because I do like Medium as well as a platform to post longer, like just talk, just like have longer ramblings in a place where the cycle isn't as short as Twitter, for sure. Yeah, so I'm loving it, man. You guys have did
Dude,
an amazing.
that makes me very happy to hear. We came up with, we're basically as a team, maybe we can transition to how we work and what we do and how we leverage AI for a bit. That makes me very happy to hear. And a couple of weeks ago, the story behind the streak features, basically, I read a blog post, and I'm sorry, but I can't remember the name of the guy that wrote it. He's like really big in the tech and startup scene on Twitter. He wrote a blog post about how to calculate your max MRR based on your churn rate. And churn rate just boils down to how good is your product right now, and how good everything around your product is at leading the users down a path where they build a habit around using your product, right? Because once you establish a habit around the product, everything increases. Like your lifetime as a user just is huge. And who are the best people in this space? I would say Duolingo is top in this space, right?
Yes.
And we had a look at Mobbin, like the user onboarding flow. We had a look at features. I watched a podcast of Lenny with one of the product managers for customer engagement. This guy does nothing else than to just focus on customer engagement and retention. And in that podcast, he said one of the biggest things that moved the needle for habit building and retention, user retention, was implementing a streak. I was like, okay, we have to do that. We have to do that ASAP. And then we workshopped that feature and came up with the streak you now have. And I think it really moves. It's such a small thing, but it moves the needle a lot. You just demonstrated it.
Yeah.
Interestingly, that product manager in the Lenny Architsky podcast, he said that when people get to day 7, psychologically, loss aversion kicks in really hard. So exactly what you just described, like no way I'm going to lose my streak. That makes people come back, right? And Duolingo is way better than we at this stuff. So we are basically getting inspired on a lot of this stuff. But the next thing you could build upon this feature is just as Duolingo, they're going to ping you if you're about to lose your streak. And they have systems and they have like all this stuff in place when they're going to ping you. Right, they're having a look at when are you logging in? What's the time where you're using the product? And they're going to ping you just right before that, because if you had time yesterday at around 3 p.m. to use our product, chances are today you also have time to use it.
Right.
So you're getting a message right before that. And stuff like this seems so small, it's so important when it comes down to just reducing churn and making the product habit building. And we are basically picking as a team one priority we are working on this month. We are creating projects in Linear. And then when it comes to leveraging AI, I will quickly search up a post of a flow that we are currently using. And then I have to quickly go and check in Linear what I can show and what not.
Yeah, no problem, man. And then after that, I would love to showcase some of your cloud code workflows. I'd love to see that one as well.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll
I
have to
can
see that. Yeah,
share my.
because for myself, like I find that for cloud code, I want to be like that Geoffrey Huntley guy, spinning up like 87 sub agents at once. That's like my
Yeah,
dream
okay,
goal.
that's not.
That's my dream
So
goal.
basically, I broke down the current workflow we are playing around with here. So ignore the hook. This one is just to get a lot of attention on this. And it worked to some degree. But we are using, so maybe you have experienced this as well, but AI without just in general, AI sometimes really sucks at UI. And we really focus on making the UI and Postel clean and user friendly and just polished. We don't like the most hurtful thing somebody could say is like, "Hey man, this looks vibe coded." Not because vibe coding is bad, but a lot of vibe coded stuff is just not polished.
Yeah, they all look
That's
the
not
same.
what
It's
we're.
ugly
Yeah, yeah,
and purple.
and yeah, and our product is purple, but that's not because we are just not polishing it. Overall, we're asking ourselves three things before we go into planning a feature. Why are we doing this feature? So where exactly is the impact for the user here? And then we are, before we start implementing it, we are defining what metric we are going to track this with, right? So for the shed, the goal is to create an incentive so the user gets back into the tool. And then we are asking ourselves before we get into doing all the specification and stuff like that, we are saying, okay, what KPI are we using this to track progress, and what's basically the big KPI we are trying to improve here for the streak that would be churn, right? And then we're getting into planning the feature. And what we are using is Shed PRD. Maybe some of you know that it allows you to just look, my co-founder got reposted here.
So that's good.
And
It works. It
yes, it
works.
works.
Right? It works. Right?
Let me just quickly scroll down because I think he got reposted another time. And basically, we're using Shed PRD to create a very detailed PRD for just a single feature. Okay, I can't find it. After that, we go to Mobbin, where you can basically browse a lot of UI onboarding flows and different like everything of like really established products, right? And we are looking for similar examples or something that we can basically take as a blueprint for the feature, if possible. Then we're taking images and screenshots as reference, and we're going to ChatGPT or Gemini and just saying, hey, we need a very descriptive we need a very detailed description of these things from these screenshots. So we're having a PRD for the feature overall, but also almost a PRD just for the UI.
Right.
Then we are taking that, we're combining it into one specific linear ticket where you have an outline, which is like almost, it could be almost like a whole PRD for SaaS, but just for a feature. And it doesn't matter how small it is. And we're having like just very clear outlines. And then we are putting that into linear. And we have started with Cyrus, which is a linear agent. It's very new, and we have met the founder on X, and we are using Cyrus. You can assign it. Let me quickly stop my screen for a second. I want to show you how that works. Just let me take one example here that we already shipped, so it's public. Done. Just 1 second.
Yeah, take your time. Can always just edit that. You're fine.
Perfect. Where is that? I want to show you something because Cyrus will break down the ticket and even give you in ASCII like visual depictions of how.
Okay. No,
Yes.
I got it.
And I'm looking through the features that we have
uh,
done where it's done that actually.
Sick. It's so interesting you talk about Jason Zhao, who's talking about ASCII, like ASCII being like the more, what do you say, better way to go about designing front ends for large language models because it's able to almost visualize better, which is so interesting that you can bring this up.
Yeah. And okay, sadly I can't find one where he did that, but I will just we just implemented and integrated TikTok, so you can reference TikTok, right? I will show you the ticket for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe you have to blur some stuff. I'm not sure.
Okay, just tell me
So
exactly
if
what you
that,
want. Just tell me
yeah,
what you want to blur, and I can.
I might have to check. 1 second. I'm gonna share my screen in a second again.
Or you could take a screenshot of what you want, and then we just go from
Yeah, okay, that works too. Yeah.
there. Just take a screenshot of what is possible for you, and then we go from there.
So screenshot number one. I will quickly throw this up on the Maru board. So this should be it. All right. So a couple of days ago, we implemented TikTok as a source, right? And this is a part of the ticket. And basically, we have, as you can see, a summary of the ticket, requirements, which are split up in the UI, backend, config, documentation, acceptance criteria, which are really important. And then once we have basically combined these things from Mobbin and ChatPRD, we are taking that into a ticket like this. And depending on the feature and how many things, similar things we already have implemented, the ticket is longer or shorter. Because for stuff, we have TikTok, we have already implemented YouTube and Instagram Reels as context, right? Or as an integrated platform where you reference context. So you can fall back on what's already implemented there. You just have to tell it that. And then in Linear, you can assign Cyrus as if it's a working member of your team. And Cyrus will check the whole feature and spin up a plan and comment under the ticket where it's currently at in the plan. So it will it will take the ticket, break it into steps, and then work it will throw up in, like via the MCP, it's going to call Cloud Code on your behalf and work on the ticket and create a create a new branch. And once it's finished, you will get pinged. You can create hooks that will say, like your laptop is going to say, implementation is ready, like just like Siri, right?
Yeah.
And then you can go into the pull request, have a look at the summary, where you can see exactly what Cyrus did and implemented, basically a breakdown of how he went about this feature. And you can even, like from there, you can just throw it up, run the build, or go into the preview deployment, test it, and push it to production. And that's what did I one shot a couple of weeks, like a week ago with this flow. This post was inspired because I just one-shotted a small feature I wanted. Oh yeah, this one, the viral outliers highlighting, right? That you see that some posts here are highlighted. That's something I one-shotted, and it took me maybe 15 minutes to describe everything, and then I just gave it to Cyrus, and Cyrus was working while I was writing content. So that's
Yes,
one of the coolest things. And we are working on hosting Cyrus So everybody, basically, then you could say, work on this, work on this, work on this, and it's going to run work simultaneously at different tickets,
Okay.
multiple agents. And then everybody in the team will have some hooks. So anytime something's finished or it progresses to a milestone, you will get like your laptop saying,
So this is finished,
done.
or yeah.
Yeah. So I can't be too detailed, but it's a very new flow and it's working wonders, and something that I think most of the people who work like building on public on X, they're like either solo, and I'm like to be honest, I don't know anybody working in a team. Like we do like three people and not just a duo. Something that really worked wonders was changing to exactly the same flow, everybody in the team. And I'm more like, I'm doing the least work inside of the product. When I ship, it's more about growth and like it could be, yeah, I would say from everybody in the team, I'm the least technical person. I'm more focused on growth and switching to the same workflow, exactly the same workflow, worked wonders because I noticed something that improved my workflow and I shared it with my co-founders and we made a 3x improvement. If you're working with different workflows, those things don't always translate. It doesn't really come down to the prompt itself. Like we almost never share prompts. It's more like, hey, try out, for example, this thing you saw in my post, this mini workflow, chat PRD, Morbin. This was something that kind of was created by iteration and adding steps to that workflow, right? And my co-founder Robin, he's like the one that's really at the spear tip when it comes to this stuff. Yeah, and he just yesterday he was showing me that he created these hooks. So he's like playing piano, and then his laptop will say, um, like pull request 244 is ready, right? And then we
The
get to
modern
test
day
it.
dev.
Yeah, and it doesn't. I have to say, smaller features you can one shot them. It all stands and falls with the PRD and the description of the feature and the steps. And you have to be specific, like you have to give it enough context and like tell it exactly what to do. Otherwise, you will just you will fall short with this workflow. Bigger features, it's very hard to do bigger features with this. Bigger and more complicated and complex features. It's possible to basically break down bigger features into smaller tickets and then step by step work your way through it. But you can't one shot bigger and complex features. But even the viral outlier thing may seem small for the user, but behind the scenes, there's a lot of things that Cyrus did there. It had to adapt the database schema so we can calculate the ratio, right? The visual highlighting was something that I had to iterate a bit, but like there are many things that went into just this small visual highlight of the tweet, basically, and it almost one-shotted it. So
Sir.
saved a lot of time. And it would have taken me at least, let's say, 3 hours to do manually, and now we can
You get a ping on your
basically
laptop. That's
ship.
what's not now.
Yeah, yeah, and especially for not just with smaller features, smaller bugs. Man, that's word saver right there. If you get to really replicate the bug and describe it really well, you can give it to Cyrus and it will fix it. Smaller bugs is really a game changer, and we have a lot of users right now, a lot of signups. We get many different stuff from different sources. Right? I get XDMs, I get pinged on Discord, I get people like sometimes even iMessaging me, being like, "Hey, like
Damn.
I have this right," and we have basically set up a flow, or we're working on a flow right now, where we can just put like screenshot the message, put it into one of our Discord servers, and then from there on, a pipeline will take that screenshot, write a ticket for us, assign it to Cyrus, and we get like a whole pipeline. So we don't spend our whole day working on small things because that's a slow death. You're busy, but you're not doing the work on work that really has leverage.
You're not moving the
And
needle. That's
yeah,
a sick workflow because it's crazy because I do something similar, but I don't leverage like chat PRD in that way because I do like task files. I've written like I've been developing using Cursor, these AI tools for almost a year now, right? So I've picked up on a few things like that work don't work for my personal workflow. So I have a task file that I use, and then I just I reference other files, I include images, and it's like, this is what I want, this is how I want to get implemented in it, and it makes a difference. So it's huge that you mentioned that. And like for those of you guys who are listening, because it was actually funny enough, just this week, I was talking to a guy and he was like, man, I would feed, I would ask Claude to develop an entire feature for me. I'd fail every time, and I'm like, bro, please stop. Please don't do that, right? Break it down into like 7, 8, 9, whatever amount needed pieces, and build up like from the foundation to that good base, and then just iterate. And the beautiful thing about that during the iterations, I mean, depending on what tool you're using for like within Cursor, because I have a good Cursor flow, they have a tool where you can like generate cursor rules. You know what I'm saying? So after you finish the foundation, you can generate a rule for your foundations, and in the next feature, you generate the next rule. Do you find that that's like a feature in Cloud where after you Cloud Code that is, after you develop something, you're able to let it know like, okay, this is how I want you to develop things going forward? Is there like a memory? Like I've played around with memory, but is there something similar to where like Cursor has rules? Do you have like rules set up, or is it just all in memory?
I think we do have some context files, but I'm not sure.
Mm.
Like I did the exactly same stuff in Cursor before switching to Cloud Code, and just because this is like a personal opinion, I feel like you almost don't have to do that with Cloud because I feel like it can better understand how like the whole, how do you say, how everything works together in your project without telling it to. I would just I would just say, hey, make sure to check the whole like work, like how everything works together, and it does that. And sometimes you can just like hit Shift Tab and you're in plan mode, right? That's what I do for bigger stuff. And in Claude, I did the exactly same stuff with the cursor routes, and I found just that I didn't have to do that necessarily when I switched to
Mm.
Claude. I just said, hey, look in these places for, we are now implementing viral outliers, right? These files are essential. Boom. It would check upon all of them and understand how they work together. I feel like in Cursor, I had to do more work upfront. And I had the same workflow. At some point, I was using Taskmaster AI for bigger things. I was break them down. I would have cursor routes that would update automatically every time I said, hey, like I had a self-improve rule. Do you have something like that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, and it would just update anytime I would say, hey, this didn't work. Don't do this ever again. That worked really well, and I didn't have to worry about that stuff anymore in Cloud.
Mm.
I feel like the context window is really big, and almost everybody, I think we are like 2 weeks away from everybody switching on the max plan Cloud Code. So
Yeah.
uh, I don't even feel like essentially what everybody will do at some point. I think is just becoming a manager of tokens, like
Yeah.
a token allocator. And what you said earlier was with the friend that hit you up, like I just can't do bigger features. It's just about like all the work will shift to how like how good you're using these tools is just coming down and boiling down to how good are you actually at breaking down a problem and describing it, because that's something you still really can't, for bigger things you still really can't outsource your thinking and problem solving to AI,
Hmm.
for like not 100% right now.
Yeah, not yet. Not yet. We're not there
Not
just
yet.
yet. There's yet.
Not yet, yeah, but it's getting
Oh,
Crazy good.
it's.
It's good.
I'm gonna be checking out the Cyrus thing, like, cause I
Dude,
sometimes like, cause I'm like,
get in touch with the founder.
I'm getting to
Super
that.
nice guy. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I can send you the handle after
Please, please,
another
I'm
pod.
gonna reach
And
out, cause
we're actually,
I was trying Tarragon recently.
I don't know them.
Yeah, I was trying Tarragon recently. Tarragon is very interesting. Similar concept, but not with linear. It's more GitHub pull request directly. So Tarragon has been very interesting for me. It's I've been using Tarragon. I've been playing with AMP because Geoffrey Huntley recommended AMP, and I must say AMP is very interesting because they don't allow you to choose a model. They give you a million context window, and they say go. Yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting. So it's what a time to be alive is what I say, man. Like it's been very interesting for me. So
Man, yeah, I'm going to send these things
please,
to Robert and Bruno.
anytime you send me something or find something, and send me. I will send you as well because I feel like now the difference between like a developer who's 10xing is kind of coming down to now what they know and the tools that they have to their disposal. Because a developer who has, let's say, in my using myself an example, who has like 5 years of Python experience, but is still like manually coding, it's like he's never gonna 10x. Like, but imagine a developer who has 5 years of Python, but using like mine or even better, your insane Cyrus workflow, 10x easily. You know, so at this point someone had said it like we're gonna as coders and more and more code becomes democratized, we're gonna become reviewers, because the speed at which code is gonna come out, I mean, at this point it's like
Not even, I would say, okay, this is getting very speculative, but
mhm.
reviews to some degree or reviewing code is or testing software is going to be some part of our daily lives. It's more about, I think, the role of the product manager is getting way more important than anything else.
Yeah,
What do you actually implement? If you have the ability to implement everything, what do you actually choose to work on and what not? Because everybody can build now, but what becomes what is still hard is to build software that works easy, works for the user, not against the user, is not cluttered. And it's so easy to just put a lot of junk in your software today that shouldn't be there. And we really want to have a limited of things, we want to really have a user flow that everybody gets into app and they kind of just intuitively understand what they should do and how the whole flow works. And it should be very, very close to the jobs that our users want to get done. And we are thinking from that standpoint out. Like, you're coming to Postel because you want to create content. So let's break this down as much as possible and um, yeah, put it into software that works with you, right? A lot of, I think that's something that where we stand out also is just we are focusing on that. Everybody can just quickly vibe code some bullshit and that kind
mhm.
of works, but it doesn't feel good. And we are really focused on best case. Actually we are cutting things out. We're reducing the steps. We are deleting things actually and removing more and more. So it's just the essentials that really work fantastically. That's that's the main goal. So, like simplification will be the antidote to junk software that is cluttered. And that's why I say like I really like and I can recommend listening to the podcast, like Lenny's newsletter overall and Lenny's podcast on YouTube. He has like world class product managers from Stripe, Duolingo, like everywhere. Every big unicorn company or whatever, or um, like startups that really, really changed the world. Kind of, he's speaking to the
Like
PMs,
everyone.
like the product. Yeah, and yes, it's really very interesting to listen to those people because there are many actionable takeaways and stuff that shaped us personally a lot, like
i'm
how we
gonna
work and
I'm gonna
how
start
we
deep
are.
diving. I have to start deep
Yeah,
diving now. That's crazy. All right, I will
yeah,
be sure to check out Lenny then. I love what you
yeah.
said
Do
though. I love what you said, less
yeah.
is more. Less is more.
Yes, yes. Just focus on the. Okay, let just a quick tandem here. The other day I was staying up way too late and should have
Typical
gone to bed.
Joshua.
Should have gone to bed by
Yeah.
12 a.m. But I spent 3 hours in Postel just basically acting as if I'm a random person from X, signing up for Postel with the goal to create as much content as possible in the shortest time. And I did that for 3 hours straight, over and over again, different flows, different sources. And I broke down every small step, the seconds it needed me to get that step done, and how easy it was to use that feature. I could just see where we lacked things and where stuff was still way too complicated. And those things really translate into building stuff, I would say, that over time just wins. Because it's people will say, hey man, why aren't you using ChatGPT? Like ChatGPT can do the same stuff as Postel, right? And people will be like, damn, what the fuck are you even talking about?
Yeah,
Like,
like,
I could live with Postel. I think you get to that point that people say stuff like that if you're super focused on the user experience and just cutting out everything else that isn't supposed to be there and nailing it. Like UX, UI, super has to be super clean. I really admire. I read a post of of the founder of Chatbase, I think Yassir, admiring like Linear's philosophy. They have a zero bug policy. Like nothing gets just zero bug. Like they don't
really?
allow bugs. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And man, Linear. If you think about Linear, they broke into a market that has super established players, right? And if you look at a product comparison site, Jira and Linear, Jira has everything, but still Linear grew like crazy because they focused on one person and just nailed their use case. Founders and small teams, right?
Yeah,
And it's
like
just super clean. Like I
it's
love
clean.
using Linear. Yeah, just love it. And that's basically what we desire to get to.
I love that as a founder, you're actually like in the weeds of your own product. It means that it's so sick to hear that because it means that you're actually building for like a special user in mind. I don't know. I really love to hear that, man, because it reminds me of back in the day when I used to grind this game called Path of Exile like a lot. I was like, God, bro, that game was insane. Lost at least like 5,000 hours easily to that game, easily, trust me. And what I'd love about to hear from those developers is that they would play their game and they're just like, yo, like we know this feature sucks. We're gonna in their dev blog, whatever. They're like, oh guys, we know the orb of transmutation is too overpowered. We're gonna come in and refactor it. And I used to love hearing that because it felt like they were on the grounds with me at Ray class fighting these witches, whatever, warlocks and stuff. It was sick, and it's cool to hear that you're there with me as well, man. Love it,
Yeah,
love it as
dude,
well.
my posting streak. And since we have, look, I was never a big scheduler, but like I was never into scheduling posts. But since we have it in post, I started using it. I kind of like it more and more to feel like, hey, I can actually get something out there while I sleep or while I walk the dog or I'm in deep work. So we are really, and me, we are building this also for us. We want to see this existing. I love, like, I love using the product. I use it every day. I have a posting streak now of 27 days, and I think it's just since we implemented and released the feature, I posted and released something, created something. We've posted every single day. I want to make this feel like magic. Where you're like, damn,
Yeah,
like imagine being out there and as someone that really wants to grow and establish themselves there and build a personal brand, and they were grinding it out like 3 hours every day, writing posts, planning posts, and then they find Postel and they're like, damn, holy
where has this
fuck, how
been?
could I?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
where has this been? This is like making my whole life so much easier.
yeah,
That's the, yeah, that's the moment I work for basically. And I think every day we get a step closer to that. And essentially, like, um, Robin and me, we have the most critical eye on our product itself. Like we are living and breathing this. We know everything that is off. So every time I get onto user call where they're like, man, this is awesome. I'm always to some degree, yes, this is exactly what I want, but we're not there yet. Because
Interesting.
I know, yeah, I know that there's still a lot of stuff that needs to be done. Um, I think in our team, there's a great founder product fit kind of, or founder problem fit. I'm posting 5 to 7, sometimes 10 times a day on X. When I started out, I wanted to actually get more stuff out there that I just didn't have the time to create longer stuff, value oriented, like value focused stuff. And now I have the means to do that without spending hours creating posts that maybe even flop.
Yeah.
Right? We want to take the risk out of that process. Which really, if you start out on X, it really sucks to spend that much time and then see every post didn't even get 100 views. We want to take the risk out of that by making it as simple as possible to create really good content in less time. So there's no time risk. There's no time risk when it comes to creating content anymore if you're using Postel.
Joshua, this has been sick. Thank you so much for coming through and just talking about Postel and talking about your workflows. As soon as this call is done, I'm gonna become a linear user now, right? So that's just like a thing now. So yeah, if people want to reach out to you, where can they find you?
Just on Twitter, at Joshua Builds, but Joshua written with a C. Uh,
I'll be sure
just
to throw
as
it up on screen because I know
yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
gonna be like, with a C?
Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
Just as a heads up, and you can find my co-founder Robin at also on Twitter, of course, at Robin and then underscore Farage. It's written Faraj, and you will see us posting and showing up there every single day as the last month. Just posting about what we learned, building in public, and growing our product and improving it. So yeah, dude, thanks for having me on. Like this is the first longer podcast I did. I enjoyed it very much. It was very fun.
Thank you, bro.
And man, in a couple of months we are going to do another one.
We
Going to
have
show
to.
you.
We have to because I
Yeah,
want to. By then, the LinkedIn feature will be out. Cloud Opus 5 is gonna be live. You know how it is.
Notion integration there.
Notion coming soon. For those of you who may not know, like I've been using Notion. I'm what 25. I've been using Notion for like 6 years now since it dropped. I've been using Notion since it dropped. So if Joshua brings Notion to a poster, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I may have to buy back my soul and resell it at that point, man. Because if we'll see. Joshua, thank you so much for coming on, man. You've been an amazing addition to this podcast for the knowledge that you've given to me, and hopefully those who have been watching this, man. Big up.
Nice, dude. Thanks for having me. It
Yeah,
was
bro.
awesome.